Episode number 2.
Don't be afraid to get crunk. Don't be afraid to get bucked.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to fuck it up. Don't be afraid to turn up.
Hey.
Don't be afraid to get crunk.
Hey.
Don't be afraid to get bucked. Don't be afraid to fuck it up. Don't be afraid to turn up. Hey. Don't be afraid to get crunk. Don't be afraid to get bucked. Don't be afraid to fuck it up. Don't be afraid to turn up. Don't be afraid to get crunk. Don't be afraid to get bucked. Don't be afraid to fuck it up. Don't be afraid to turn up.
Welcome to the podcast, episode number 2, baby. Yeah. Man, what is good? Hope you been rocking with that new Do a Little Damage song. Man, I feel like that is just a slapper for me. I don't know, personally. That one's been in my vault for a while, but finally had to pull it out, and it's going to be on the new album I got coming out this year. Actually, within the next few weeks, to be honest with you, just to be completely straight. I got new album coming out. I'm going to keep the title a surprise for now, at least for now, but it's definitely coming. Got the cover art being worked on. Shout out to my boy Larry Flores. Man, dude is super talented. Shout out to my boy Emac. You know, absolutely, he's the GOAT. Man, shout out to my boy Sadistic, my boy Reckless. Shout out to my boy's Neck. Man, it's been an interesting past few weeks, I will say. I haven't released an episode, the next episode, just because kind of been going through it personally. Just some shit, personal life shit. And, I'm just trying to get through it. And I feel like I'm slowly coming out of it. And it's taking some time. It's taking a lot of energy. But, we're getting through it. And that's the most important thing, is just not giving up. For me personally, I've battled with stuff before in the past where if things got too tough, I just gave up because I didn't want to deal with the stress that came with how tough it was getting. And, that's a bad habit. That really is. Because if you're constantly quitting when shit gets tough, it becomes a habit in a lot of areas in your life. And that's not something that I want to continue moving forward, especially being a new dad. It's just not something that I think is acceptable, as a human, a growing, evolving person. I think those battles, going through the battles are what makes you tough and, essentially shapes you into the person that you're supposed to be. If you're constantly quitting, you're not becoming the person that you're meant to be. So, but that's just my opinion. Of course, if shit's too toxic, if shit's just causing unnecessary toxicness in your life, do what you got to do. Do what you feel is best for you. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. But, man, so I've released a couple new songs, Do a Little Damage, and It's Hard to Tell, featuring my fucking homeboy Sadistic. Man, we have been grinding. We're really trying to shape up this project. I think it's going to be about 12 to 14 songs or so. And yeah, so we got everything recorded and we're almost through with the mixes. So once, basically how a song process is for me personally, find a beat, record, mix, master, release. And it's just it's my pattern that I've been in, for 10 plus years now. So I really hope you guys enjoy this new project. It's going to be something that I'm just super excited about. And I think it's an evolvement in my artistry. It's kind of the path that I've been wanting to go towards, for quite a few years. And, I feel like I've had to kind of evolve to get to this point. It's the style of music that I rock with most, I think. And, I will say it's probably not the style that a lot of people, especially in my hometown, probably rock with right now. But, sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zone and, do what's best for you. And that's what I'm doing with this project. It took steps to get to this point, you know. I had to do quite a few different projects to get up to this point, as far as like just Find Me in the Woods. It was kind of this, sort of silly project at first that evolved into a little bit of a darker side to like leading to the light type project, which is really nice. I mean, it was a great project in my opinion, as far as for me personally and my growth. It led to the Suscos project with Sadistic, basically kind of darker side of what we were going through. We wrote everything during COVID, the COVID season. So of course everything at that time was a little bit darker. And, I think we really established a sound and with that project. But then that led up to my baby girl's project, Nora. And I'm leaving out a few little side projects on the side, but I'm just talking about like my main albums. Of all the fish in the sea, it led to that, which was really just me trying to capture some good vibes, some learning points, some teaching points for her as she gets older. I really wanted to establish something for her to where she can listen back to when she gets a little bit older and be like, damn, that was my dad that did that. And sorry, she's making some ruckus in the background, but yeah, we everything led up to this point, to where we are today, and I'm very proud of where I'm at right now. Could we be further? Could we have more streams? Could we have more fans? Whatever, it is cool, but for me, that's not the most important thing for me, because the most important thing, in my opinion, is building up a legacy for myself and for my family. And just showing my kids that I have a dream I'm going to chase. And even though I'm not making money or having, ultra success with it, it's still helping me cope with life. Some people like to rap for the look of it, so they could post on social media and be like, look at me, I'm a rapper. For me, I make music as a way to cope with life, as a way to cope through day-to-day bullshit, writing out my thoughts, my feelings on things. And it's just important for me to continue to do that, because I've noticed when I fall off of making music or writing or whatever for a little bit, shit just kind of gets a little bland for me. Life just starts to get a little bland. And making music just keeps things exciting for me. So I don't know if that will relate to everybody. If it does, that's great. If not, that it's all good. I really just like to inspire my friends and keep them going too. So I know you hear the Shelty boys in the back. It's my boy Bear Bear. He's pretty crazy. But yeah, man, it just feels good to be talking into a mic again, and just kind of keeping consistency, That's one thing I'm working on, staying consistent and persistent, because nothing ever gets done without those two. I've thought a lot about the whole 10 Minutes with Tim podcast name. I don't think I'm going to rock with that. I think it's just too hard to keep everything under 10 minutes. I mean, especially when you take a little bit of time off, it's just that's not what I want to do. I don't want people who listen to feel like I'm like just blabbing on. I know I am, but I just don't want that. I don't want to be confined to 10 minutes. If we feel like we got more to say. So I still haven't came up with the title yet. It's all good. I'm not overthinking it. When I overthink shit, it just doesn't do me any good. So we'll just call this podcast episode number 2, and till we find an actual title for the podcast, I don't give a shit. So, but yeah, man, I hope everybody's doing good. I know we're about to go into the spring season. And, it's been cold here in Cincinnati, but it's weird. Like, we'll get, like, random days where it's, like, 75 degrees, one day, and then the very next day it'll be down in the 30s again. And I'm just like, what the hell? This is Ohio weather for us. So I hope everybody's doing good. Looking forward to the springtime. What's your plans for the spring? What's your plans for the new year? I mean, it's still the new year. Even though we're almost into March, I mean, we're still in the first quarter of the year. So what's your goals for the year? You got any you got any plans to travel? You got any goals? You got any projects that you're working on? I'd love to hear about them. Cause that shit's inspiring, man. And I'm not even talking about just music. If you got shit that you're inspired by, share that shit with people, man. I mean, you don't have to tell them you're a full goal and your vision and everything, but just share a little bit. Especially if they understand what you're talking about, because that shit's inspirational. And if that can inspire people to continue with their craft, let's get it. We're all in this together, man. I think we lose sight of that shit sometimes. But it's the truth. Sorry. But, hey, we're just out here doing the best we can. That's the most important thing. We got to do shit sometimes that we don't want to do. And by doing that shit that we don't want to do, it's creating a discipline for us. Because now we have responsibilities. We're not kids anymore. We got shit that we are responsible for. And we got to uphold that discipline to fulfill those responsibilities. Because if we ain't, man, shit's just going to start crumbling. And I'm not about that. My motto for my family, my wife and I, we always say, we're not going backwards. We refuse to go back. We've already came out of it. So why go back to it? So our whole thing is we're going to move forward no matter what cost. Sometimes the cost is doing shit that you don't fucking like to do. Does it suck? Hell yeah, it sucks. Nobody likes to go to work every day. Nobody. But you know what? When you got kids to feed, you got a house to support, even if you got pets, you got responsibilities. And, I can't, me personally, I can't just like stop what I'm doing just because I don't like doing shit, So, but that's me, Hey, look, I'm not trying to preach. I'm just trying to speak my mind and what's been weighing on my mind. And if it inspires somebody, cool. If not, cool. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's what it is. So, there's one thing that's been weighing on me that I feel like needs to be said. And the reason why I feel like this needs to be said is because there's so much just toxic bullshit out on like social media and the news platforms everywhere right now. And, the one thing that I feel like needs to be said is that everything's going to be okay. I heard my boy Theo Von say that shit, and it does. It reigns true. It's simple, but it's true. Everything's going to be okay. We need to stop like worrying so much that we just like put ourselves in this toxic waste space, and to where it stops us from living our lives. I feel like that's what they want us to do. They want us to stop living our lives and just conform to this toxic waste. What does that look like? Well, that looks like, oh, I'm so scared. I'm not gonna go do anything that's productive. I'm gonna I'm gonna sit in my depression and let it build up to where I'm now drawn away from all the people that love me. And that's not cool, man. It's not. They want us to live like that, but we're not going to. Shit's just too beautiful out here, man. You know, as long as the sun's shining, hey, I know it's corny. As long as the sun's shining, we got shit to live for. We got kids. We got our art. We have sports. I know it's silly, but you know what? If it's something that makes you happy, then just do it, man. Don't worry about all the other bullshit that they're trying to feed us. That's part of the plan. They want to feed us this bullshit to stop us from moving forward because they don't want us to outgrow them. And that's not on my agenda. I'm trying to move forward. So everything's gonna be cool. Let's just get it. Turn into your loved ones, man. That's why we're here. We love you. It's not. You're not gonna. You know. You're not gonna be a burden if you turn into your loved ones when you're scared. You know. If shit's got you down, and you're anxious, you're panicky, you're stuck, you know, by turning into your loved ones, you're actually showing your appreciation for them. They love you. That's why they're there for you. And you know, life is tough, man. This shit ain't fucking easy. What makes it even harder is when you try to do everything on your own, including keeping all your suppressed feelings inside without telling people how you feel. Then it becomes real fucking tough. You know? People are in your life for a reason. They were put there for a fucking reason. You know? They love you. And a way to show your love for them is by going to them, being vulnerable, going to them and telling them how you feel about life. Even if you're scared, even if it's tough and it's hard. By doing that, you're showing your appreciation for the people that love you. You know? It's the hardest thing to tell somebody you're scared. But I promise when you do, the second you do, you may not feel a way better, but you're going to feel a little bit better. Because maybe they have something that needs to be said that you need to hear that you wouldn't have heard if you hadn't said something to them. You know what I'm saying? You know? I think for me, you know, I try to put certain feelings and fears and shit in my songs. And, you know, by people listening to them, it does kind of help me feel a little bit better. But I don't want to always do that. Because, like, sometimes people listen for the sake of just being entertained. And it's not really helping them if all I'm doing is spewing out my garbage to them. You know, and all they're doing is listening to it. So for me personally, sometimes I have to go to the people and tell them how I feel, to my people, you know. It's hard. It's definitely hard. But when I do it, I feel way better. So, I don't know, man. You know, I'm not trying to be no fucking hip hop preacher or anything, you know. I'm not fucking Eric Thomas or whatever that dude's name is. But, you know, I've gone through some shit and I feel like if I can help other people get through some of their shit, I'm going to do it. And whether it's through music, whatever, man. Hopefully it just helps. If it don't, you can always turn me off. It's all good too. I'm not trying to fucking create no haters or anything out there. Of course, people are gonna hate anytime you speak your mind, but you know, it is what it is, dude. I'm not gonna let that shit stop me from being me and from creating. You know, if you got a fucking problem, you can always go run your mouth about it. You can come to me about it. Or you don't have to at all. But I'm not trying to hate. I'm just trying to love, man. Love is the answer. Love is what's going to get us through all this toxic bullshit waste. So, hey, you know, I've been trying to live by that motto, do a little damage. Do a little damage. Healthy damage. I'm not talking like no bullshit, reckless, savage shit. Do a little damage, man. You know? What's that look like? Hitting the gym. Spreading love. When it feels like there's a spreading love in a place where it's toxic. You're doing damage. Healthy damage. You know, reading, sharpening your mind. You're doing damage, but it's healthy. It's kind of like it's like a backwards motto, backwards meaning. I don't mean physically like fucking destroying shit, but doing damage, man. Don't be afraid to get crunk. Don't be afraid to turn up. Don't be afraid to fuck it up. Sometimes we gotta fuck it up to learn how to not fuck it up. But if we're afraid to fuck it up, we ain't gonna ever learn. You know what I mean? It's silly, but hey, it's true. It is. So yeah, I've been living by that. That's my motto. Do a little damage. And, you know, hopefully that inspires people. But, man. Yeah, we just been out here grinding, dude. You know, just doing the damn thing. Trying to stay consistent with stuff. It's tough, but we're getting through it. We're getting through it. And, you know, stay tuned, man. We got some cool plans in the works. We got a couple singles dropping here in the next couple weeks on Fridays. I think the next one, Mr. Potato Head, is what it's called. Basically, it's about, like, cancel culture and how, like, that shit's kind of toxic. I have a fun little twist on it. And, yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. After that, I got a song called OG. That basically is just like, you know, some OG shit trying to teach the younger generation how to move. And, yeah. Hey, we're just out here having fun, man. Life's too short to not have fun anymore. You know, I'm tired of taking shit so serious all the time, man. We're serious. We can't find the humor and shit, you know. Fuck all that. Life's too short. You know, I don't want to be known as the guy who just, you know, just a fucking dickhead all the time. You know, I want to be cool. I want my kids to grow up and their friends be like, "Damn, Nora, your dad's cool." You know? And I'm sure I won't be, but if I can move a little bit better and, you know, take the pressure off myself and off my family, I'm going to do it. We put too much pressure on ourselves to uphold some sort of, you know, what we think is like the definition of success. And it's not, you know, it's not. It's just too much pressure. So take the pressure off yourself. Do some damage. And, man, let's get this shit. Life's too short. Do a little damage. Love you. Peace.
Don't be afraid to get crunk. Don't be afraid to get bucked. Don't be afraid to fuck it up. Don't be afraid to turn up. Don't be afraid to get crunk. Don't be afraid to get bucked. Don't be afraid to fuck it up. Don't be afraid to turn up. Hey, don't be afraid to get crunk. Don't be afraid to get bucked. Don't be afraid to fuck it up. Don't be afraid to turn up. Hey, don't be afraid to get crunk. Don't be afraid to get bucked. Don't be afraid to fuck it up. Don't be afraid to turn up. Hey. I don't wanna be the one you might